Good morning, everyone. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. 97 The Ticket. Great Saturday morning. I got a lot to talk about today. I am full of fill in the blank. Just kidding. Boy, was it nippy this morning. I got out of the house. It was like 42 degrees out. Talk about a nippy morning. Woo! Man, thank God Starbucks was open. And we have a lot to talk about today. First of all, you can check us out on Facebook Live if you want. You can see my new Hire It Done hat. I'm rocking it out this morning. But I literally, friends, I have a huge show lined up for you today. I'm going to go over some of the topics, give you a little tease. And my legs are sore. I went on a 3-mile walk yesterday, too. I didn't realize it was 3 miles. I blew it out. Man, oh man, I'll talk about that in a second. But here's the deal. Today we're going to talk about 10 tips for removing mold and mildew around your house. Mold, is that really a dirty word? Like the 4-letter word? Mold, oh no. Home improvement, when you have mold, it's like, oh shoot. Exactly, I said it. How about last week I talked about removing a load-bearing wall. I got a lot of feedback on it, so I want to recap that. How to caulk a toilet to a floor. Everyone knows I love toilets. I have my new Kohler Numi. I'll be doing the reveal on my Kohler Numi as soon as I have my guys paint my bathroom. By the way, you need a painter? I got a guy. We're going to do pest prevention tips. You know, we had Rose Pest Control on, Rose Pest Solutions on recently, and they gave me some good ideas. So I was doing a little research on pests, and you know what? We got all kinds of stuff going on. And I got also some tips on saving electricity around your house, lowering your bills for this winter. Always good stuff, as you know. But I want to give a quick announcement this morning. If the Wolverine Knife Collectors Club annual show is at the historical Octagon House. It's on Van Dyke in Washington Township. If you're a knife person like I am, you got to go. All kinds of great knives. It's from 9 to 3 in the old factory, old new factory and custom knives. And if you mention you heard it on 97.1 this morning, you get in free. Love that, right? If you're a knife guy like me, like I like small knives because I want to be able to like hand-to-hand combat and stick somebody once. Just kidding. This is Hire It Done. Home improvement. The sport of home improvement on 97.1 The Ticket. Yesterday, so let me just give you a quick story. So yesterday, I reconnected with a good friend of mine. Her name's Erin, and we met. It was kind of nippy. It was like 4 o'clock. We met out in front of a Starbucks. And we said, well, let's go for a walk. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Well, she lives real close to the area, so she knew where to go, and I was just following her. I was not up for a 3-mile walk, but I was so excited, and, I can't, I couldn't hide. My ego wouldn't let me be like, oh, my God, how much longer? But, man, we blew it out, had a great time. We were talking nutrition because, I have a terrible eating disorder. It's called fast food junkie. Can't stop, And, hey, she hooked me up. She helped me. I'm going to get back on the plan. So good shout out to Erin Powers. She rocks. And if you need a good Pilates teacher, let me tell you something. You got to go to Lifetime to see her. We can hook that up too. But anyways, wanted to thank her for that. And if she's listening this morning, thank you for tuning in. And of course, look, we got a lot Hire It Done stuff. We always have fun here. And that's what I like to do in the studio. I like to have fun. So let's go right now and let's talk about mold and mildew. Mold is not a dirty word, right? Or is it? A lot of people in their house don't even know, oh, I got mold. What do I do? Well, let's talk about how do you identify it, and let's remove some of it. That way you can enjoy this content and maybe you learn a little bit. Okay? So, do you need mildew cleaner? Is there a difference between mold and mildew? Okay, so first thing, let's just find out where the mold and mildew might be in your house. Okay, so mold, as you all might know or might not know, mold needs 2 things to live: water, or a moist condition where they get the water from, and a surface to eat the food. That's right, mold lives. So first thing you want to do is check for plumbing leaks, right? So if you see mold near water pipes, waste lines, ice maker lines, plumbing fixtures, chances are mold is feeding off a nearby leak. Just go in your shower and take a think about it. Look, let your water run and check for leaks around the area, like in a toilet or even a drain line. If you see where the water goes back into the wall, look for little moist conditions. That right there could be a huge problem. Now, we're going to have a professional plumber calling in this morning, so we'll talk about how to get if you find a plumbing leak, what's the best way to fix it? Because a guy like me, I get a wrench and put it on a pipe, it's over. There's going to be a flood. You can almost guarantee that. So remember, water travels in any direction. It can go horizontal across a pipe. And I told somebody once, water always wins. That's why we have a Grand Canyon. And that was an original statement by Glenn Hagee. He's legit. But my therapist told me that's not why we have a Grand Canyon. It's not because of the water. Blew me away. I almost felt like I had to do some mushrooms or something. But anyways, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I am going to be talking about mold, mildew, bleach. Does bleach really kill it? What about other mold inhibitors? Is it safe? That's right. So we're going to take a quick break. My name's Adam Helfman. I'm the home improvement expert, and we'll be right back. Good morning. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. It's snowing out. I love the snow. Today's like a Netflix and chill kind of day. Maybe some fried chicken. Anyways, we got Jim Seggi from Seggi Renovations in studio. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning,
Oh,
Adam.
can't hear it. Your mic's not on.
Oh,
there you've got to talk into it. Now it is. I couldn't see.
oh, that's right. Good morning, Adam.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's always a pleasure. You know that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to have you here. So we were at the break. We were talking about the recent segment. You were talking about the questions they asked. Do you like a customer when they ask you questions? When you're, they're thinking about remodeling their kitchen or bath. You're there, but then they start interviewing you about you. Don't you?
Oh no, I have. I love that actually, and I'm all about questions. Actually, when I meet a client and I start talking about stuff, I actually stop myself and I say, look, I'm going to ask you tons of questions. I can guarantee you I'm not trying to oversell you anything. I just want to make sure that anything you do, you're able to give me an intelligent decision off of information that is facts. And there should never be a project when you get all done that you do the woulda, shoulda, coulda. Why didn't I do this? So, I walk the line of actually telling people information, but not assuring them I'm not trying to sell you, oversell you.
Sure.
I'm trying to make sure you get what you want.
Interesting that you say it that way. So, homeowner calls you. They say, "Oh, we were at a party last week. XYZ homeowner. They said that you did their kitchen. They're bragging about you.
Yep.
We're thinking about getting a new kitchen. Can we come see you? And we want to talk about a kitchen." So now this homeowner has already seen your work.
Yep.
So it's a high priority, high value client so far. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the first step? Is it they come to your showroom or you go to their house? What do you recommend?
No, so first step is, so we'll just use kitchen for an example. I go out to their home. I take measurements. I take pictures. I ask a ton of questions. I spend anywhere between at least a good hour, sometimes two. After I do my measurements and pictures, we sit down and have conversations. So again, since we're talking about kitchen, I want to get a concept of maybe what style of cabinets they get. What color frames that they're trying to look for. We talk about lighting. We talk about styles, different things like that. So then I normally require 1 week turnaround time. I go back to my office. I have an awesome design staff, and we actually design by committee. So, and we actually have fun. You know, you see some of these TV programs where everybody's sitting there bouncing ideas off of this one and that one and getting excited and raising their hand and, oh, I got this. And actually yesterday, Kristen we were showing a client a drawing, and I was waiting. I was like, I had this awesome idea, and I couldn't wait for the client to leave because I wanted to change the whole layout, and I thought it would have been just drop dead gorgeous doing it just a tad different. But so then we invite them into the showroom, show them kind of what we got, talk about some preliminary.
Welcome back. This is Hired Done. My name's Adam Helfman.
Once they're happy
Thanks
with
for
that,
tuning
then
in.
we get a retainer
Early
fee.
Saturday morning. A little nippy out there. I got out of the house this morning. I'm like, whoa, heated seats, heated steering wheel. Let's rock and roll. Unbelievable. 248-539-9797. You have a question. We're talking about mold. How to identify it, why you get it, and how to get rid of it, obviously. Again, if you have a question this morning, text me. We are open line texting, 248-539-9797. For all the keyboard gangsters out there as well, you can send me your love that you usually like to. So, again, mold. Is it bad for you? You know, listen, we all grew up in mold, right? There's 1,000 strains of mold. Some people react different to it. Should you be careful around it? Of course. But is the sky falling when you're around mold problems? No. It's all how you handle it. So the thing is, first thing, you don't want to ignore it, right? Mold is an early warning sign in your house for a moisture problem. Okay? And it could be inside a wall. It could be behind a toilet. It could be behind the wall. It could be in the drain. It could be in the ceiling. There's 1,000 places that you could be talking about. So how do you ignore mold? Well, you got to learn how to plan to get rid of it, okay? So a lot of people just want to wipe it away. Oh, let me just get a rag, a schmata. Schmata. Remember that word. It's a schmata. You need a rag or a schmata. And because if you wipe it away with a rag, it looks good right after you wipe it. But guess what, Houston? You got a problem because it's going to come back. So what do you do now? So first thing you got to do is find where the mold's coming in. Sometimes you got to look outside for leaks, right? If mold is growing on an exterior wall, a lot of people see mold on their outside walls and they're not sure why. You got to look for a leak, first of all, in a wall or a roof area as a test to see if mold's coming in that area, okay? And then you got to look and see. Maybe there's water coming in, maybe not. What about duct work? Inspect your ductwork. Yeah, a lot of times mold will come in leaky ductwork because look, if you have ductwork that's running conditioned air through a space that has a different temperature, you're going to get condensation. Condensation is going to be a breeding ground for mold, and you don't want that. So you need to inspect your ductwork. What else? What if it's dirt on your wall and not mold? How do you know which one it is? Is it mold or dirt? You'd be surprised. I had a cleaning person come to my house the other day. She comes once a week, but like every month or so, I pull out the white glove. And I'm like, all right. She gets all nervous. Because when I hired her, I said to her, listen, I'm an OCD maniac. And I said, every once in a while, I'm going to pull out the white glove. And when I pull the white glove out, I'm going to rub my finger on things. And when I rub my finger on those things, if it comes up dirty, we got a problem. So I got on my hands and knees and I rubbed the casing or the base molding around a couple doorways. And oy vey, let me just tell you something. There was so much schmutz on the casing. I looked at her and I go, see this? She goes, you don't have to say another word. So needless to say, usually she's there for 2 hours to clean my house. She was there for 4 hours, literally. Now, I also like the smell of clean. To me, the smell of clean is bleach and like Febreze. I like a good scent. I don't know why. Maybe because it's psychological, because it's probably not great for you. But I got to be honest. The house smelled, and I could have eaten off the floors of my house. That's how clean it was. But anyways, you got to find out if it's mold or dirt. So how do you know if you have mold or dirt? Well, here's a quick little test. Take some bleach, dilute it with water. Let's just say a cup of water to a tablespoon of bleach. Take a cup of water, put a tablespoon of bleach in it, mix it up. Take a Q-tip. Don't stick it in your ear after you use this, okay? Dab the Q-tip on the wall in the area that you think it might be moldy or it could be dirt. If the spot quickly lightens, or after you clean it, the spot comes back, you can assume it's mold. Understood, Houston? Now, you can go to the big box stores, and yes, you could definitely buy a mold test kit, and then you'll know. But, again, mold's not a killer. Some molds cause respiratory issues, especially in children. We live in a toxic society. Has anyone figured that out yet? And, of course, guess what? Bleach kills mold. Oh, and it kills COVID, and it kills a lot of other things. Anyways, so you need to make sure. Now, what is the other opportunities? How about antimicrobial spray? There's a good product that I've used for years that it's a mold control product. And you can get it again at the big box stores. I happen to be a fan of Ace Hardware. They're not a sponsor of the show, but they sell all the good stuff I like. It's like the adult toy store, Ace Hardware. Is there something wrong with me for saying that? But it's true. I love going to Ace Hardware. They have, first of all, they sell really good cookies there. But if you want paint, every time I get light bulbs, batteries, everything home improvement small, Ace is the place. Anyways, enough of that. So there's a product called Concrobium. Concrobium mold control. It's an antimicrobial treatment that encapsulates the mold. Now, what is the word encapsulate? I know it's early and I'm using big words. And Hooked on Phonics is also not a sponsor of the show, but let's talk about encapsulate. What encapsulation means is that it takes the mold spore and covers it. It almost puts a thing around it and it suffocates it. And then it doesn't allow it to ever grow again. That's the best part about that. Shout out to Greg and Carrie Tittle from Tittle Brothers Construction. One of the top roofers in Michigan. Longest partner at Hire It Done. Had a new baby grandchild. And as from the pictures I saw, 10 toes, 10 fingers, looked healthy. And so for Greg and Carrie, shout out. Congratulations. A big mazel tov to you on that. Keep the kid away from mold. Now, if you're renovating your basement, if you're renovating your house, you should use mold-resistant building materials, right? Just ask Finished Basements Plus. Okay? They're basement remodeling companies. And they use mold-resistant materials when they finish your basement. How cool is that? Right? So, if you have moisture as a problem, first of all, you always got to have a dry basement. But use materials that resist mold growth and aren't affected by water. Makes sense. Owens Corning makes some really cool mold-resistant insulation boards. Dense Armor Plus is a mold-resistant board from GP. There's a lot of good ones. So make sure that you use the right equipment. It's pretty simple. Now, what is Mildicide? Mildicide is a mold-resistant product, and they put it in paint now. So you can use a Mildicide in a paint, or mildew-resistant, kills, KILZ. You've got all that in there. I'm telling you guys. Or just go to Hire It Done. I got a guy. 248-539-9797. Text me. Question, concern. Show me some love. Because that's what we're all about today at Hire It Done. It's a new year. Shana Tova. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. The lovely Laura Blankenship from the Better Business Bureau, Southeastern Michigan, in studio, and Brianna Anderson. Welcome back. Thank you. So, Brianna, tell me, if I'm a business owner, I'm listening, I'm a contractor, well, why would I want to be a member of the Better Business Bureau?
Yeah, there's numerous benefits that come along with becoming an accredited business. First, as what I mentioned earlier, I do events for accredited business. So one, they're getting a ton of networking opportunities and can meet other members in their industry and bounce off ideas and be creative with them. You also get the trusted seal. We give you our marketing materials you can put on your website that you're an accredited business. That's something that consumers really, truly do look for. They want to make sure that it's not a scam or unlegitimate website. We give you our branding materials. You can put that up in your store location as well. And then, like we mentioned earlier, every review and complaint, we actually investigate. I was talking to a company earlier this week, and they were talking about how, and I believe it was Yelp or something, they were working with a consumer, and they went and the consumer wasn't having a great experience, not because of anything the business was doing. They just personally weren't getting along and put this long complaint, and Yelp wouldn't take it down. And he said it's not even legitimate. They have done no transaction with us. At the Better Business Bureau, what you see is what you get. When you go on our website, you can actually see the business, their reviews, their complaints, how they've handled it. And it definitely on the consumer side is a benefit, but also it's on the business side. You know that if anything's posted about your company, it's legitimate.
You know, that's a really good point, because I talk to contractors all the time, and I always hear them complain that there's a complaint. We never even did work for this homeowner. It's the wrong company, and we can't call and get it taken down. Or or even on like Facebook or Google, a lot of people just don't realize. And of course, the power of the keyboard. I call them keyboard gangsters, right? Homeowners have the power to use that keyboard, power the sword, whatever, power the pen, and they can give their own version of what happened. What I like about the Better Business Bureau is that before it gets posted or anything, you guys actually read it. You have the homeowner fill out the information, and then you meet the contractor or talk to the contractor and say, hey, here's what's happening. What's your version? Exactly. At that point, that's when things go.
Exactly.
Which is important. And again, that's where, again, I from being a contractor, I know like sometimes homeowners are not always right, but sometimes the contractor's wrong or the business. So it's a good wake-up call. Now, if you're a business and you're looking to grow and you're looking to make your Welcome back. This is Hire It Done at the Rocket Mortgage Studios. Today's show brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. Any problems, any equity problems, anything you need with your mortgage in your house? You want to pay for home improvements? Pretty simple, refi. Go to Rocket Mortgage. They take care of business. So as everyone knows, we talk plumbing on the show a lot because why? Well, let me explain to you why. Because it's a big part of your house. Mold wouldn't grow if there was no water issues. Water comes to your house through the plumbing. Lots to talk about. So joining me on the line right now is my buddy, good friend, and Hire It Done ace plumber, Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Adam. How are you in this lovely, warm morning?
Right? Were you outside yet this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you vey, right?
Frost. I had no idea. Jeez.
Yeah. Not enough to freeze the pipes yet, right?
Yet.
Keyword yet. So, Ron, let me ask you a question. Now we're heading into the fall. What are some of the plumbing requests that you're getting into your business that people are having right now, or issues?
Well, I don't know about the request. It doesn't really change yet. It hasn't been that cold, but the one thing to remember is even with these, I know every fall we talk about this, is to put your hose away, your garden hose. Don't leave it attached to those those frost-free hose bibs. People don't realize they have to drain down to function. So if you leave your hose on there all winter, when spring rolls around, we probably get, 50 to 100 calls every year of just, I turn my water back onto my hose bib and there's water spraying everywhere in the basement, and that's what it is. They freeze. So when we install them, they tilt ever so slightly downwards and outwards of your house. So when you shut them off, the water drains out of them. But if you leave your hose connected, it'll never drain, and that's subsequently they freeze over the winter.
There you go. What if someone doesn't have a frost-free bib? Can you pull one in, or what you do?
You turn them off in the house. There's a valve, and on the side of that valve, there's a little drain plug that you can take off and drain the water out of it. If it's if it's where it's trapped and it's holding water, a lot of times it'll eventually evaporate and drain. Over the couple months because we don't have immediate freezes. So if you shut it off in November or October or something, chances are it's going to drain or evaporate enough where it's not going to freeze and cause a problem.
Well, that's always a good thing. So, are you seeing any growth? We talk about it, you and I, quite a bit. And by the way, everyone out there, we're talking with Ron Alexander. He's a master plumber, 30 plus years. Shelby Mechanical is the name of his company. You and I've talked a lot about tankless water heaters. And I'm just asking, is it still, you see the growth in that? Are you still seeing requests for people getting tankless water heaters?
Yeah, we have. We've been running some commercials on it, too. It's some, they've made them, even the research system now has become, such an easy install for us. We just bypass some pipes under, cross-connect them, actually, under a sink at the farthest fixture away. But we've seen an increase, yeah. I mean, I still believe. I mean, it's kind of a luxury item. I mean, they're fantastic, but I mean, the price difference between a tankless and a regular tank is substantial. So,
right.
If you have a need for it, it's fantastic. If you have a large family, you've got a jacuzzi, in your master bath, you can't fill. The thing is fantastic for those type of situations.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. So let's define why someone would want a tankless water heater. So first thing I would think is space saving, because they mount on a wall and they take up little space. Yes or no?
Space saving is huge. We convert tanks to tankless for a lot of, you were mentioned earlier, Steve Iverson's Finished Basements Plus. When we install them, do his basement plumbing, they do that to save a lot of space when they're designing. If it's a smaller basement and they need to, instead of relocating the water heater, if they need the space, we put a lot of tankless in.
And okay,
houses that have them in the closet, water heaters. There's a lot of slab homes, and this helps also with conserving space.
Okay, well, that's what I was assuming. So let's say that you got a family of 4, both kids are in school or Zoom school, whatever you want to call it today. Mom and dad both work, and you got 4 showers a day. You got laundry a couple times a week, washing machine, dishwasher. When someone says, all right, I want to go from my 40-gallon or 50-gallon water tank to a tankless, is it important to know how much they use in order to size this?
Yeah, it really is. So we do ask a lot of those same questions. My first question is usually, why do you want it? First of all, I mean, if they just want to install it to save on their monthly bill, I don't know if that's as a legitimate reason just to put one in, because it's gonna take a little while to recoup the difference between that and the tank style. But it's the same question you said. How many kids do you have? If it's a lot of times it's just a wife and a husband. The kids are gone, but they like to take long hot showers and they don't want to run out. So you got these showers with body sprays and rain heads, and they just like to take a long shower, and that's where it really helps out also. And I usually, there's not that many sizes. I mean, you get a smaller one that handles like a one bath, maybe a bath and a half house, and then the next one up. I mean, we just use Renai's. That's the only brand I install, and I mean, I've had wonderful success with those. I think we've been installing them 15 to 20 years, and I think we serviced maybe one or two of them, but it's usually just a cleaning thing, not a problem with them. They're just bulletproof. They're fantastic.
So and that's what I was going to ask you, because someone calls you out. There's 7, 8, 9, 10 brands of tankless water heaters. You're only going to install the one that obviously is going to give you the best warranty and the best service. Because look, you don't want to put it in, then in a year later have to come out and replace parts. It makes sense to me.
I mean, Rinnai has a 12-6-6 warranty, which 12 years on the burner assembly, 6 years on parts, and they even pay our labor for 6 years. And I mean, that's almost unheard of nowadays, where a manufacturer's warranty will cover labor. They just never do, and that's how confident Rinnai is in their product, and that's why we install them. Because if it's not working, no matter what the savings is, the customer doesn't have hot water. They're not happy. I'm not happy because I'm sending guys back out there constantly trying to fix it, and I'm losing money. So I just install what I feel is the best product.
Well, and that's a testament to the quality and the reputation that you guys have. We're speaking with Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical. Ron, how's busy? Are you busy right now?
Oh, we're swamped. Absolutely swamped. I've got large. We do a little bit of everything. So we got some large projects in Detroit going, apartment buildings, and I think we're going to hopefully close a deal today on a hotel here on our side of town. Finally, it's 108 room building. So we're got a lot of restaurants going in Detroit. So there's a lot of stuff. You're down there. There's a lot of stuff going on down there.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Still trying to get finished up everywhere you look.
We had a little bit of a delay, but now things are ramping up again. Are you going to have time for the little guys like me and all my 100-ton fans?
Always.
All right,
Always. We have a whole
throw it out
service department that handles a lot of that stuff, and then we've got a couple crews that do nothing but bathroom remodels. We do a lot for some local construction companies here.
Which
KSI,
reminds me, you need to meet me. I need you to meet me out in that condo in Birmingham. The new tub coming in from Advanced Plumbing. We got to have it installed properly, and the only way to do it, I have to have your guys run the plumbing a certain way. So I got to get you out there this week. Remind me, please. I keep forgetting to call you. I want you there though, because I need you to lay it out professionally.
Yeah, you know who to call.
Well, I know.
It's my schedule.
And by the way, anyone needs some plumbing in their house, give Shelby Mechanical a call at 586-726-9444. Or just visit HireTon.com. We'll send you right to Shelby Mechanical as well. What about power vent water heaters compared to tankless? According to Justin Moss from Advanced Plumbing, the pricing's getting pretty close. Is that true? What are your thoughts?
If a 50-gallon, just is in that $18 to $2,000 range. A tankless with a research system, you're getting up over $4,000. So it's probably 50%, somewhere around there.
Okay.
But they, if you have different needs.
So the number one complaint that I hear about with tankless water heaters is that it takes too long to get the hot water to the faucet. Is that are they getting rid of that? Is it true or what?
Yeah, they have Rinnai's Rinnai's, Navion. There's a couple other companies. They have a built-in recirculating tank. Let's say a small tank with a pump. And, what we do is we go down to the farthest fixture, and it comes with a fitting, and that comes with the tankless water heater that actually cross connects the hot and cold, which creates that loop. So they have a high-tech one now, a module with Rinnai that you can hook up with your Google or Alexa, whatever it is. I'm not that tech savvy, but when you open your front door, it'll kick on and start recirculating hot water. You can schedule it. So the warm water is at the point of use. When you come home, or you can set a timer. There's a lot of things you can do, but they've solved that problem.
All right, well, that's cool. We're going to take a quick break, Ron. Can you stick one more? Can you stick around? Okay, one more, because I want to talk about. I just read this weekend how to caulk a toilet to a floor. I want to talk to you about it and get your opinion. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm Adam Helfman. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We've got Bill Burkhart Jr. from Kangaroo. They hop to it
You know it.
studio. Thanks for being here, my friend.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having us on.
So if you have a roofing question, text us 97136. We had a few come in. One came in and says, okay, here it is. I got a 20-year warranty, three tab shingle on my roof that was put on 10 years ago. A roofer said that I need to replace it because my shingles are falling apart. How do I validate my warranty? What's the whole fuzzy math thing? Let's break it down.
Yeah. So the big thing when it comes to shingle warranties, and this is, I'm going to come back to what we talked about earlier, our guarantees, because our guarantees aren't prorated. Let's use right now, because this will hold true for her 20-year. Everything's a lifetime shingle. Every manufacturer is kicking out lifetime shingles right now, no matter what the quality or the grade is. And what people aren't realizing is after the first 10 years, every manufacturer, there's one that goes out to 15. What they do is they hit a prorated cliff and they fall right off of it. Now, you'll still have some level of warranty that'll go out into perpetuity for you. But I think the really scary part of this all is, too, all it's covering is the shingle. It's not covering the labor. It's not covering the underlayment. It's not covering the tear off, the disposal. It's just the value of the shingle itself. So I think you got to be really careful when you see those warranties, because the warranties are written to protect the manufacturer. They're not there to protect the consumer unless you're getting into those higher-end warranties.
Which is important.
Yeah.
Obviously, makes sense. Okay, so if someone has a warranty on a shingle and the roofer's no longer around, can they call you and you can take a look?
Yeah, we will. And we will help guide you through the warranty process, the claim process. The only thing I would tell you is it's kind of like going through the insurance process. Buckle up. It's going to take some time.
Doesn't happen overnight.
No, and there's going to be some cost to it, too.
What about these class action lawsuits I've heard about? Is that any...
At this point, they're real. Pretty much all of the major manufacturers got called out onto the carpet for that. And this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, because the shingles weren't lasting. They weren't doing what they were supposed to. That's right when all those organic shingles were out there.
Sure.
In fact, if you have organic shingles, call us today. We're pretty much going to assure you we'll get you a brand new roof.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you even have one blown off, we can help you through the home insurance claim process.
So that's what's so good about you guys. You really do your homework to be informed on that. So newest technology in roofing is called that SBS.
Yeah.
Polymer modified roofing.
Rubberized asphalt shingles. It's the simple way to think about it.
If a piece of hail comes flying down, it bounces off the roof.
Yeah. Class 4 impact resistance. It's the same rating as the metal roofing. It's the highest rating you can get.
So you'll get if someone says to me, I want a 50-year warranty. Welcome back. This is Higher Time. My name's Adam Helfman. And it's a great morning. Back on the phone with me is Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical. Welcome back, Ron.
Good morning, Adam.
So, Ron, let me ask you a question. One of my favorite magazines, and, don't make fun of me, is Family Handyman. And I was reading an article about how to caulk a toilet. And they said, and this is, I've never seen this, so I wanted to get it from a pro. There's an article that says, for the best seal, caulk the floor before you set the toilet. Have you heard of that?
I've seen people do it. I don't know if that's I don't recommend it myself. I just soon set the toilet and then just caulk the
other outer ring.
Exterior. I mean, if you ever have to pull it, you can't really get to that caulk if it's underneath it. If they use a lot, you'll end up popping tile if it is a tile floor, where if you just seal it from the outside, once you set the toilet, it's easy to cut with a
Okay.
knife and clean it out of there.
Thank you. Because the reason why I asked this is because I'm reading this article. I'm like, in all the toilets that I've ever seen installed, now personally, for the people listening, from the neck down, I'm worth minimum wage. So you're never going to see me installing a toilet. I tried to do a video on caulking a toilet once, and I threw out my back just getting on my hands and knees down there to caulk it. It was terrible.
Getting old.
Like, totally. But listen, you bolt the toilet down with a fresh, brand new wax ring, and you got 2 bolts. That sucker's not going anywhere.
No, not really. I mean, even the caulk will keep them in place. I mean, we've had, they've got shims we put under there just to keep it stable, and then caulk it, and it shouldn't go anywhere.
Okay, so I have a friend who called me the other day, and he has a toilet in his chiropractic office, and he says, Adam, do I need to replace this toilet? And it's cracked at the base, right at the bolt where the toilet goes down. No leaking. It's probably the wax ring that's keeping it from leaking. But my question to you is, should he leave it till it leaks, or should he put a new toilet in?
I would suggest just replacing it. Eventually, it's going to start to leak. Customers are on and off it, using it quite a bit, so it's just a matter of time. It's going to start leaking. I'm
You
sure.
get the wrong person. Okay, like someone, like me. Although I don't use public toilets, but if it was someone like me, I'd probably break it. So let me ask you then: someone calls up to put a brand new toilet in. Do you guys prefer us? Like, is it Kohler, Toto, American Standard, Mansfield? What brand do you put in for a homeowner who just says, "Hey, I need a new toilet. I clogged my old one"?
Well, we usually have them pick out this because there's so many different styles and manufacturers. We usually tell them, go pick it out. We'll come and install it for you. Because we used to supply in Kohlers and Mansfields, and you'd get there and I don't know if I like this, and then you're running back and forth. So when it comes to fixtures, we usually just say, pick it out what you want, and we'll come and install it for you.
Okay, so and then by the way, what if they say I just want you to supply the toilet? Do you have like stock a few or?
Well, yeah, we stock them, or we'll pick them up. We'll find out what they want. Most of the time, if they're elderly, we suggest a comfort height, elongated bowl, which I just found out yesterday. A lot of places they're like 2 to 4 weeks out. The Mansfield that we use on commercial projects. So
why is there a shortage? Distribution?
Hard to get a hold of. What's that?
Okay, so distribution's probably still backed up.
Yeah, it's getting bad. I mean, I'm waiting 90 days on 50 shower bases for a project we're working on. So it's getting bad.
So let me ask you this: as you know, you installed it for me, my new Kohler Numi toilet.
Oh yeah. How's that working out?
Clean. I'm clean.
I'd like to see a video of it because it wasn't wired when we were there.
Okay, so real quickly, I have the painters coming Monday to paint my bathroom because I didn't want to reveal my toilet because there's, when they put the old toilet out, I need to paint the walls around it because the Kohler Numi toilet is an art piece. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I'm spending too much time on it.
I believe we put a picture of it on our website, either our website or our Facebook page, I believe.
Yeah. Well, when it's done, and I'll do a video of me on it, we'll release it to the world. But yes, it couldn't have been happening without Shelby Mechanical putting it in. By the way, it took 2 people to install this toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It was Justin and Ashley.
They rock, by the way. Unbelievable how great that pair is. The other thing is they put a new faucet in my kitchen.
Oh, great.
And we put the Kohler
bill
with the hands free. It's so cool.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah,
So
they're good. She's an apprentice, and it's kind of nice to get some girls in the trade. So she's working out really well. Actually, Ashley is.
are you guys hiring?
Probably in the next few weeks we will again. Yeah, we got 4 apprentices we're training right now. Some of them have been here 6 months, some of them have been here a year. So we usually don't turn them free at least for a year. I just don't want to hire them for a couple months and then turn them loose on the public. So I got to bite the bullet and pay them to ride around for a year. But you know what? The good ones are worth spending the time on.
Always. Isn't that how it should be, though?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to invest in your employees. I mean, I get it. I understand completely. So, all right, well, that's cool. So, Ron, I appreciate you calling. Well, as soon as they do the Facebook Live back in the studio, we'll get you in here, obviously, because I need that. But we got all these regulations that we got to follow, and better safe than sorry. We got the message across with you, of course.
Definitely. I want to shout out to, maybe you said already, Justin over at Vance. I see him piping in on Facebook, and old buddy of mine running around out there, another plumber, Ron Powerski, working. Say hi to him. He's been busting my chops a little bit here online.
As it should be. Well, that's
yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, well, listen.
Working with him for probably 30 years, too.
Awesome. Well, Ron, I want to thank you for calling in this morning. It's always good to have you on the show. Shout out to the whole crew at Shelby Mechanical, rock star people. And I'll talk to you this week, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, my man. Talk to you soon.
Have a good weekend.
You too, man.
Bye.
And so what's going on, folks? Is there something going on at your house? Did you turn your heat on for the first time? Has anybody turned their heat on for the first time? Well, let me just say this. If you did, you better get your furnace tuned up. Lots of ways to get that done for you. Of course, we all have hire it done. Which reminds me, I'm going to give you some fall pest prevention tips. I'm going to give you home maintenance tips for the fall, obviously. I'm going to talk about finishing your attic. And then I'm going to talk about saving electricity and lowering your heat bill. And, of course, I want to talk to some real estate agents. I might have to bring Sarah Sells on the show because we have a lot going on. By the way, did you know Hire It Done has a new podcast? Yeah. This is the greatest thing about my podcast. It's me unleashed, okay? It's called Contractor Therapy. And you just go to radio.com, type in home improvement or type in contractor therapy. The reason why I call it contractor therapy because I need a therapist. And I have so many great home improvement stories where we have two sides to the stories. One is called the homeowner from hell, and the other one's called the contractor from hell. And by the way, if you have a home improvement horror story, I want to hear it from you because I want to be able to talk about it. 248-539-9797. Text me if you have a question this morning or a home improvement horror story. Contractor therapy is available at all your, best places where you get your podcast, but we go to radio.com here. And Rocket Mortgage is our sponsor, and we always can figure out if you ever need help with home improvement financing or equity line of credit or refinancing, basically they're the one-stop shop for all that. And it's so easy. Like they hold your hand through the whole process. So if you need that, it's always there. But just so you're on the same page, it makes sense that you get around your house today. It's 42 degrees. I was so nippy when I left this morning. I'm like, oi, what am I going to do? But I got some great stories. But also, if you have some good stories to share, I want to feature on my podcast. So text me, 248-539-9797. And by the way, I had lunch with a contractor this week. And I got to be honest, the guy's really sharp. He's building a team of real AAA people. And it's good to see, me, listen, I grew up in the business, okay? And I have a lot of experience and I have a lot of knowledge and I have a big mouth. My big mouth allows me to tell people what I know. That's why I have a radio show, Hire It Done. I'm the opposite of do it yourself. You see, friends, from the neck down, I'm worth minimum wage. From the chin up, a lot. And I just want to share my knowledge with you. That's why I started the radio show. But every once in a while, you come across a good contractor and you're like, oh my God, I found another great contractor. And this guy, his name's Matt Hatz, Hatz, MCCS. We're going to talk about him after our break. But I got to tell you, there's some great up and comings. He's one of my top 5, just so you know. We're going to keep it locked in. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. I want to thank everyone for listening, tuning into my show today. You got a question? Text me 97136. We'll help you. Always help you. Adam, what's the typical cost to renovate a master bathroom in a condo? Craig from Novi. It's a good question, Craig. Average bathroom remodel master bath, which is a little bit bigger than a powder room, you're going to spend 15, 20 grand on a low average. It can go way up from there, but we have some really, really good bathroom contractors. If you need help, just go to hiredone.com. We'll help you. Like to have my patio door installed in a place that does not have a door currently. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, we have contractors who will break through the brick siding. They'll put a header in. They'll put all that in for you. Just go to hiredone.com. J&E Services, they do that. But anyways, we'll help you out. So here's the deal, my friends. You are hiring a contractor. You're all excited. You roll your sleeves up. You get all excited. And you start off the job gung-ho. Contractor starts in demo. 3-4 days later, no calls. No one shows up. There's a mess. Water's dripping out of the bathroom faucet that they demoed. You're scratching your head and you're like all excited. And the next thing you start to think, you're starting to sweat. You're like, uh-oh, maybe the guy's not coming back. He's not returning calls. What's going on? Well, we never want this to happen, but there's going to be a time when you may have to fire your contractor. There may be a time you might have to call an attorney. There may be a time where you may have to really think about this. But anyways, here's the deal. Joining me in the Hired Done studio is Eric Glick from the Glick Law Firm and a longtime friend of Hired Done and myself personally. Welcome, Eric.
Morning, Adam. It's good to be here.
Good. Thanks for coming in, brother.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
So you've been an attorney how long now?
About 23 years.
Boy,
Yep.
my man.
Time flies.
Yeah, that is. All right, let's get right down to it. You've been a sharp attorney. I've known you a long time. You've helped me. You've helped contractors. Mm-hmm. You and I keep our finger on the pulse of the law when it comes to contracting.
Right.
But you do contractors for homeowners and homeowners. You do both ways.
Yeah. If you know the law, then the law is the same for the most part, whether you're talking about commercial, whether you're talking about residential, and whether you're talking about representing the property owner or the contractor or the subcontractors or materials or equipment providers. It's all the same law.
Well, I have a special case I want to give you to. We have a plumber, great plumber. His name is Ron Alexander, Shelby Mechanical. Mm-hmm. He's doing work for, all over Hired Done. He does great work. They love him. We love him. But he's got a management company that's messing with him. Mm-hmm. And he needs your help. Will you help out?
Of course.
I want to go guns a-blazing after these people.
Management companies can be great or they can be horrible. It's
they
like
don't pay.
anything else.
I want the money for this guy.
Right.
And we're going to use the radio show to help get it. So,
okay.
Ron, Hired Done and the attorneys to the rescue. You just make sure you understand that, Ron. We're coming after him. We're going to take care of business for you. Anyways, homeowner has problem with the contractor. What's the first advice we give?
Well, boy, in the example you gave, there's a lot of things going on that come to my mind. First is, you got to have a good contract. You got to have everything specified. All the scope of work, you want to be really specific. Then you want to make sure you get the payments under control. Right? If you're the property owner, you want to not overpay. Right.
Yeah,
and if you're the contractor, you want to get paid as much as possible. And then so you want to manage expectations. And then the other thing is sometimes you want to be patient. And part of that is communication. Contractors can be busy. Just because someone doesn't show up for 2 days or a day or two doesn't mean that they've run away with your money or that they're not going to do the job. And that's where communication comes in so you can manage expectations. So, of course, if a homeowner pays a lot of money, someone shows up and doesn't show up for 2 days and doesn't return phone calls, that's a big problem. And the first thing they think is, oh, no, I'm one of those horror stories. I better call the attorney.
Exactly. So
it doesn't have to be that way, though.
Okay. So let's take that advice and that information and let's translate it right now to homeowners who are thinking of hiring contractors. If you hire a contractor, in your scope of work, in the contract, folks, make sure you write down everything that's included in the job. Are we on the same page so far?
Absolutely. Eric? You've helped me with this time and again, right?
Right. So everything's included. Now, let's go to the next level.
Okay.
Please write down and have your contractor write this down. Everything that's not included, my friends, should also be written in the contract. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely.
You've litigated where people say, well, I thought he was going to paint. He didn't paint, and it wasn't included.
Right.
So if paint is not included, Like I have contractors who just don't paint, and that's okay. They'll do your whole bathroom, they'll do your whole addition, they'll do your second story, they'll do everything, but they don't paint because painting can be your own thing. It should be excluded.
You've looked over my own contracts when I was getting a bid to get a deck done at my house, right, to be redone,
Right.
and it didn't specify what kind of wood is it. Is it cedar? Is it Walmanized? Is it Trex? And then what grade of wood is it? It's all
not-
those things. It's you don't think about it, but it needs to be in there because those are where disputes happen.
Right. And by the way, thank you for telling me that because here's the thing. Hire It Done has a logo. What you don't know can hurt you. Mm-hmm. The reason why we came up with that was specifically for what you said. When a homeowner is building a deck and you're an attorney, you're experienced. The guy comes out and says, yeah, we're going to build your deck 12 by 8, 3 steps down, handrails, how exciting. And you said to me, Adam, what do you think? And I'm like, dude, Walmanized, treated, Trex, cedar, footings. What's the story? Where's the demolition of the debris? Is he hollowing debris? Is he putting the debris in your front yard?
Right.
You're looking at me. You're like, holy moly, Adam! I forgot.
So if you take your advice in the first instance and get all that done, we're cutting, the possibility of having a dispute or a lawsuit, by 90%.
So what is a homeowner to do, like right now? They don't know if they don't know.
Right.
That's
Well,
why
that's
it makes
why-
sense to call an attorney, have you review a contract, right?
Sure, if it makes sense to do that, if it's a large enough contract where it makes sense. Michigan's one of those states where you're not required to have an attorney involved in, these types of contracts or even when you buy or sell a home. Some states actually require you to have an attorney involved. But so what you can do is hopefully if you get estimates from more than one person and maybe, talk with you or check out your website, you're going to get information so you know what questions to ask.
Yes.
Right? Because
and then the questions they don't want you to ask, you need to do that.
as an attorney, I see that all the time. People don't know what they don't know, right?
Well, that's the whole point. So that's why this show exists for all you people out there understanding. We're trying to educate you. We're trying to give you we arm you with information, good content, so that when it comes time to hiring a contractor, you'll probably say, oh, yeah, Adam said to make sure everything in writing that's not included. So, Eric, as you know, the good contractors are who we want to promote, but not everything's perfect.
Right.
So finding a good solution-minded contractor is the way to go. If there's a problem, he solves it. What's your thoughts on arbitration?
Arbitration has a place, but it's sort of tricky because there's benefits to arbitration and there's downsides to arbitration. And you could have a whole series of shows on arbitration and whether if you're a contractor, you want an arbitration provision in your contract. And if you're a homeowner or a property owner, whether you want an arbitration provision. Suffice to say, there's more barriers to starting an arbitration action. If you go to regular court, state court, then your tax dollars pay most of that. Your tax dollars pay for the judge and the staff, and you're going to pay a filing fee, maybe $60 to $160. And then you're going to pay for your attorney if you have one, but you don't need one. You can go to small claims court. If you go to arbitration with the American Arbitration Association, you're going to pay, I think at the minimum, a $795 fee to start the action.
Correct.
Right then, you're paying half of the arbitrator's fee, and the other side is paying half of the arbitrator's fee. And if it's a small case, there's one arbitrator. If it's a larger case, there's 3 arbitrators, and their fees can be $300-400 an hour. And then you're paying your attorney on top of that. So, if you want to avoid disputes, then you might want to
I like that. Live from the Rocket Mortgage Studios. It's kind of cool. 248-539-9797. Good morning, everyone. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done, home improvement talk. We're not anti-do-it-yourself. We're just pro. Do it for me. If you woke up this morning and you got a little nippy, you might want to turn your heat on. Are you going to turn your heat on for the first time? What do you need to do? Do you need a furnace tune-up? Is your furnace even going to work? Because, you know, on the first startup, that's when it, like, explodes. That's when you smell all the burning spiders. I mean, you know, you got to be prepared. It just is how we do things here. That's how I want to make sure. So, do you have a lot to talk about? Well, if you have a question this morning, we have our text line open, 248-539-9797. Do you have recommendations for someone in the thumb area? I have granite countertops in the kitchen and need to have a new sink or faucet put in. I've done this before. However, this is a bottom mount sink, otherwise known maybe as an undermount sink. I've never done this and am fearful that I could do it incorrectly and damage the granite or it will fall. Yeah, that's a problem. It's the exact same sink that is currently in place, so there's no need to cut the granite. Okay, so here's the thing. You have a granite countertop in the kitchen, needs to have a new sink. You said it's the exact same sink, but then you said it's undermount or bottom mount. So an undermount sink mounts from underneath. If you already have an undermount sink in there, then you're okay. You can replace it exactly. If you have a sink that's dropped in, you're going to have a problem around the edge. Okay? Now, undermount sinks are good if you install them. Now, I've seen some hack jobs from granite installers. And I've really seen some really good ones. So the key is, a lot of granite installers don't use the right adhesive, and they don't use the right bracket. Keyword bracket. I've seen guys take sinks, put them under mount, glue it, and then put a 1x underneath it, jammed underneath and holding it up like a post. A lot of times they do that because they just want the adhesive to dry. The key is using the right adhesive for the granite. So you got to go to a granite shop and say, listen, I need like the super glue of all granite adhesives. And literally that should do it for you. But when you go back up top of the sink, you need to make sure that the inner rim of the sink where it connects to the granite is properly silicone caulked, because that's where you get all the junk and the gunk. It'll jam you up. And never, ever is it easy to find a guy to just put a sink in granite. A plumber will come and put the sink in and connect it, but he's not going to guarantee it's going to connect to the granite. So that's like one of those oy vey moments where you either got to call a granite shop and pay an insane amount of price, or video it and maybe do it yourself. Maybe do like a weekend project. The worst thing is you don't want to do it and then get yourself screwed up. That's for sure. 248-539-9797. A big Shana Tova to all my Jewish listeners. It's the New Year. I hope you have a sweet New Year. I had a great meal last night. Speaking of New Year meals, Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish holiday. And by the way, I'm the JOO of Home Improvement. No one gives a better deal than me. Anyways, here's my point. Last night, I had brisket, potatoes, vegetables, chopped liver. Who loves chopped liver? And I had some challah from Dakota Bread. Of course, where else are you going to get a good challah, right? And then what did I get dessert with? Text me what my dessert was, if you know. 248-539-9797. What was my Rosh Hashanah dessert last night? I want to hear if anyone even knows what the best dessert is. It's the Jew dessert is what it is. 248-539-9797. So if you want to watch us on Facebook Live, we're live right now and having a great Saturday morning. As you know, I always make home improvement enjoyable. At least I try to. So last week we were talking about load-bearing walls. And a couple of people asked me, you know what? They didn't quite understand. Maybe I didn't deliver it right. But then I got some contractors like, you're not talking right. So let's just go over this one more time. Because I re-listened to my show, and I was spot on. So this isn't an in-your-face moment, but this is just I was spot on. And any big contractor who knows construction and things like that, can tell you about load bearing walls. In fact, this is what triggered the thought. I had lunch with a contractor, Matt Hatz. MCCS is the contractor. Now, if you want a finished basement, you want a room addition, you want a new kitchen, you want an office space, you want a restaurant built, you want a gazebo, an outdoor pavilion, you want all that done, let me tell you something. I got a guy. Okay, I got a lot of guys, by the way. But, listen, I'm always about meeting contractors. If you're a contractor and you want to meet, you want to talk about your business, I'm like the savant when it comes to home improvement. I'm always looking to meet people. But this guy, Matt, and his, I don't want to even call her an assistant because she's not. She's like the office coordinator, a project manager. She's like top dog. Maybe we'll call her COO. Her name's Shayna. Matt and Shayna. We rocked it out. We talked about home improvement. I'm going to tell you what we talked about because we were talking about load-bearing walls, removing a load-bearing wall. Of course, we got a commercial. So I'm going to tell you how to remove a load-bearing wall and how it can be done easily when we come back. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network.
And everyone's going to go through some sort of home improvement. Everyone's going to need a handyman. Everyone's going to need a plumber or electrician at one point in their life. So why not be a little educated on what to get? Because listen, if every contractor was so good, we would have what I would say, no problems. You wouldn't need my business. But because Hire It Done is here, it's all about you, the homeowner, finding good contractors. Getting good advice, figuring out why your home is so important. And that's what we do here. So today we have a lot of good guests showing up and lots of good information. The weather's finally changing. Spring is, a couple weeks away. But don't get all excited. We're going to get nailed by one more storm. It always happens. One more snow, one more something. It's just one of those things. We always get that. So be prepared for that. But today's show, I got some really good information. I've got John Cox from Prep Right Painting coming in. He's one of our painters. And we're going to talk about prepping for your paint job. Is the exterior paint work needed? When's the earliest you can start? How about interior paint? Trends in colors? Lots to talk about with that. And then we're going to have one of our attorneys in studio, who's going to tell us tips on firing your contractor. And if you're a contractor, he's also going to give us tips on firing your homeowner. So I'm excited about that because, listen, people, we live in a litigious society. Everybody is sue happy. And how do you prevent that? How do you get a project that goes smooth? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's really planting the seeds of success early and having an attorney that understands that is going to help you. So we're going to be asking him some really good questions. Laws in home improvement have changed a little bit. And we're going to be talking about the 5 signs on your house that you need a new roof, whether or not you should tackle plumbing replacement by yourself, some home hacks today, and we got a lot more. But, of course, we always start the show off with our mailbag.
Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. Wanted to tell you that we're going to be talking about load-bearing walls. I had a conversation this weekend with Matt Hatz from MCCS. He's a contractor. And we're going to talk about what's it really cost. So I'm at one of my favorite restaurants in Birmingham. In case you want to know, it's called Phoenicia. And it's Middle Eastern. Probably the best Middle Eastern food around, legitimately. And I'm sitting with Matt Hatz and his COO, I'm going to call her, Shayna. And Matt and Shayna were talking about the business, and we're sharing stories. We're laughing our butts off. And Matt does a really good job. His customer satisfaction ratings are really high. Like, that, he's got a waiting list of people to use him. So, obviously, does he need Hire It Done? No. Is he busy? Yeah. Is he a good contractor? Hell yeah. So, we're talking about load-bearing walls. And I said to him, I said, you know, I was just talking last weekend about load-bearing walls, and I had some pushback. I said, let me ask you, Matt, what's your opinion on a load-bearing wall? He looked at me and goes, well, almost any wall can be removed. It's a matter of how much you're willing to spend. And that was the magic moment. It's true. Now let's talk about load-bearing walls. Load-bearing walls are walls that support the floor above it. Now your outside walls, my friends, support the roof, right? Because the load on the roof comes down and goes to the outer walls. And that's what supports your roof. Now you have rafters. There's all kinds of technical terms. And by the way, I went to Michigan State. Go Green. And I have a degree in construction management. So I learned all this. I learned how to size beams. I learned how to do all that. Now, does it mean I can? Yeah, of course I can. Will I do it? I just call my lumberyard and tell them where my span is, and they basically do it. But if I had to, yes, I could. If you've ever had a load-bearing wall removed, by the way, text me. Let me know if you had any problems with it. 248-539-9797. Or give me any kind of question. We're here open line all hour. So we're talking about load-bearing walls. And so I said to Matt, how do you, can you price it ahead of time for the homeowner? He's like, yeah, of course. I go, so okay, here's the deal. We got a kitchen, wall between the kitchen and dining room. We know that wall is load-bearing. And he goes, well, first thing you got to do, and he was telling me what to do. And I'm like, okay, here, let me see if the guy knows what he's talking about. And he goes, first of all, you need to know what's inside the wall. And I'm like, well, how do you tell? Now, I already know. Listen, when I ask contractors questions, I already know the answer. So Matt's like, what do you mean, how do you tell? First of all, he goes, what do you mean, like literally? I go, yeah, literally. He's like, well, first thing you want to do is go in the basement and see what's in the wall. And so, it's really makes sense. And that's great advice because you got to look for pipes, ducts, wiring, return air ducts, anything like that, heat ducts. Because a lot of times they come up the wall. Let's use your kitchen for an example. The wall between the kitchen and the dining room. Everyone knows that house. What goes in that wall? Well, you've probably got plumbing from the upstairs if there is. You got a return air duct for sure. You might have a drain. You might have a stack. There's a bazillion things. Now, if you want to remove that wall, what do you do with all that plumbing? Electrical. You mean the home runs, right? Can you move it? Yes, you can move it. That's the point. It's all movable. And it comes back to what Matt originally said. And the original thing was, I go, what do you think about removing load-bearing walls? He says, any wall can be removed, Adam. It's just a matter of how much you're willing to spend. So again, folks, it comes down to how much does it really cost? And a good contractor will be able to tell you. So no, Matt doesn't have x-ray vision. In fact, I don't have x-ray vision. That's why we always fight who would be the best contractor. I believe Superman would be the best contractor. Some people say the Hulk could be the good demo guy. I got to agree with that. But other people fight with me and say Batman got the best tool belt, right? To me, Matt was Batman. MCCS. Matt Hatz from MCCS is Batman. I'll consider myself Superman, but I think he was Batman because he had a methodical, mechanical way. And if I'm a homeowner, that's the guy you want. So if it is a load-bearing wall, what do? You can support the wall or the floor above with a beam. There are several kinds of beam. Is it a 6x6 beam? Is it a load-bearing beam like an LVL? A laminated beam? Is it a steel beam? Is it an open web truss with 2 top plates? I mean, look at, there's a lot of ways to slice it. The key is the right contractor is going to tell you if you can remove a wall or not. Don't take it for granted. Don't go to YouTube. Don't go anywhere. You got to have the smart contractor. Literally, my friends, that's the way it is. So that's why I enjoy having lunch with contractors. And by the way, I can be bribed with food. It's just how I am. I don't smoke and I don't drink. I know I'm kind of lame. Diet Coke's my flavor. However, I'm high on life. Take me out to a good meal, it's over. But by the way, if you say meet me at Taco Bell, I'd be honest with you, I might come. The problem with Taco Bell is, and I love it, Taco Bell's the 4th meal, by the way. My problem with Taco Bell is you can't eat it and drive. That's the problem. You can't eat Taco Bell and drive. I tried it once. And besides lettuce and cheese and little tomato bits all over my chest, I ate the cardboard. The Dorito tacos, you can't just you got to get 3 of them right away with everything else you get. But the minute you unwrap the paper, there's a little cardboard sleeve. I got halfway through the sleeve in my mouth before I figured it out. And of course you need hot sauce. How can you not have hot sauce? Anyways, I digress. 248-539-9797. Text me a question this morning. Adam, getting a kitchen remodel done, and I need electrical work. Can you refer a company? Yeah. Of course I can. Go to hiredone.com. I got great electricians. And they'll service all over Metro Detroit, so don't worry about that. Bidet Life is perfect for Taco Bell. Okay, so that's a great statement. Whoever sent that in to me is great. Thank you very much. Did anyone figure out what I was going to have, what I had for dessert for my Rosh Hashanah dinner last night? Someone texted in chocolate babka. Have you ever had chocolate babka? To die for. By the way, they sell it at Panera, like their own version of it. Kind of cool, but at the same time, I didn't have that for dessert. But today, maybe I'll go get some babka. But what I am going to do is tell you what I had. Every Jew knows this. I had 7-layer cake from Diamond Bakery. Where else are you going to get it from? Yummy. 7-layer cake. Does anyone even know what that is? It's a Jewish thing. I used to eat it layer by layer, but today I just fold it over and stick it in my mouth. That's how I roll. So if you want to get a wall removed when you're renovating, just remember, it's not a deal breaker. The good contractors that are out there, Matt Hetz from MCCS, Tom Inger from Renovation by Design, Steve Iverson. You know what I'm saying? We've got them. They're all going to tell you. Those guys are deal makers, not deal breakers. They're going to say, okay, here's what's going to cost to do this. Here's what's going to impact the project to do this. And here's how we can make it done. Solution-minded. That's the word of the day. Solution-minded. I'm going to take a quick break because when I come back, I'm going to give you some fall tips, maintenance tips around your house, and just a little bit of how to save some energy. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Your roof takes a beating, obviously. You get roof leaks. We got basement leaks. Hopefully not too many floods out there, but it happens. And that's why we have great damage mitigation contractors here at Hire It Done. But today I'm going to be focusing on some roof leaks. If you have a roof leak, there is a silver lining. Any Hire It Done contractor, and really any roofer worth their salt, offers free roof inspections. So if you have curling shingles, or we're going to go through everything you need to look for. But if you have something wrong with your roof, go to hireitdone.com. We'll send a roofer out. They'll call you. You just decide who you want to send out. Important thing to realize is that because you have a roof leak doesn't necessarily mean you need a new roof. However, there are telltale signs that a roof might need to be replaced. And let's figure out what those are, and let's talk about them right now.
If you have a question, always text me, 97136, or go to the Hire It Done website. We have all kinds of good content for that. But let's see. Here are things you need to look for that may mean that you have signs of a bad roof. Okay, first of all, shingles that are curled, cracked, or absent. Pretty obvious. However, most homeowners don't, when they pull into their house, they don't look at their roof. They look at the whole overall picture. So there are indications that the shingles are nearing the end of their lifespan. Now that you may have lost a shingle or two from the wind or severe weather, maybe you just need a repair. I'm okay with repairing a roof if it's repaired properly. But typically, older shingles are more susceptible to wind damage. So if you're missing shingles, you might need to get your roof checked out. I mean, yeah, you should, right? So that's one of the things. Now, what about the granules from your roof? When you start to see them in your downspouts and your gutters, that's the signs of your roof wearing away. Now, the granules are made to protect your roof, and it's part of the shingle. But as it wears away, in the rain, the wind, the severe weather, tree branches, whatever, scrapes them off, it starts to wear off. So that's why they shed their granules. And you can see that just from looking in your gutter. That's the number one thing. So that's a red flag, and that means that your roof is starting to wear away. Totally normal, but same time, how much is too much? Now, what about after a rainstorm? Do you have leaks in your attic? If the rain is getting into your attic, it may be simply a question of replacing some flashing. However, if the problem is porous underlayment, then you're probably going to need a new roof. Now, remember, when water goes into your attic, usually in your attic you've got the underside of the roof, which is plywood. You have insulation. Then you've got the backside of the drywall. So a lot of water has to get in your roof before you even see it through the ceiling inside your house. But after a rainstorm, welcome back. This is Hire It Done live from the Rocket Mortgage Studios. My name's Adam Helfman, home improvement expert. 248-539-9797. If you have a question this morning, we're talking home improvement. We're having a good time. I like to have fun in the studio, right? What's the hardest thing you need to do? Let's talk about insulating in your attic. Because, you're going to put your heat on, and when heat rises, doesn't it? Heat doesn't technically rise. It travels towards the cold, okay? Now, on the earth, the cold at the ground level is not as cold as it is 10 feet up, 50 feet up, 100 feet up. So heat travels up. Just, science. And I believe in science, most of it. So we're going to use science here. So a lot of people are wants to finish their attic or want to insulate their attic. The key is, if you just put insulation in your attic, are you doing yourself a favor or a disservice? Because again, the installation of the insulation, say that 10 times fast. Oy. What happens is, if you don't do it right, you're going to cause problems for your house. So first thing you got to do is choosing your attic insulation. Clearly, if you're going to do it yourself, you might as well just go buy bats of insulation, get Owens Corning, pink stuff, go wherever you got to go. It's no problem. But you got to talk about R value. And by the way, if you have 6 inches of insulation or and if it's vermiculite, like it looks like a little ground up cork, don't suck it out. A lot of times you can have companies they can suck it out. Leave it there and just insulate over it. That's another way of encapsulation.
Okay. You can, now again, R49 is the recommended insulation for your attic, as long as the attic breathes properly. And you can go up to R60. Now, is more better? After R60, it's not better. It's called the law of diminishing returns. But R49 should be the minimum, and you're going to do really well with that. And then up to R60, which is another 8 inches or so from R49 to R60, you're literally going to save a lot of money. And the other thing is your house is going to get really quiet. Insulation also absorbs sound. So if you're going to insulate your attic, the first thing you got to do is make sure you have proper ventilation. Okay? And most roofers today who do roofing also offer insulation. So that's the number one. Number two, insulation or your roof venting comes from the soffits, which is where your gutters are. Underneath your gutters is a soffit. And the soffit vent is where the air intakes into your attic. And then you have a ridge vent or a can vent. Ridge vent is at the very top of your roof, the ridge. And then the can vent are those brown or black pods that are on the backside of your roof. You don't want both in the same locations. You want one or the other. And believe it or not, folks, can vents are just as efficient, if not more, than ridge vents. Because ridge vents can be installed improperly and can be nailed in too low, and you can't get the right airflow because it sucks the air up. So airflow for insulation is huge, okay? That's the key. If you have proper airflow and you have proper insulation, you have no issues. Okay, now, insulation's itchy. I get itchy just talking about it. In fact, I got an itch on my back. I should have brought my back scratcher. Does anyone know where to get a good back scratcher? Thinking of that? Should I go on Amazon? I need a good back scratcher. One that looks like nails. Because I want to be able to... Oh, my back itches now. See what happens in studio? You're living the life with me. In fact, I want people to know that if you're tuning into my show, pretend like you're having coffee with me, right? We're drinking coffee together. We're having a home improvement conversation. You can always ask a question. 248-539-9797. Text me if you have a question this morning. So the best insulation for your attic is the one that's installed properly, obviously. And the key there is ventilation. So go to Hire It Done, and of course you'll have a contractor, Dana Insulation we've got, one of our guys. He'll insulate your attic. He'll make sure it's ventilated properly. He'll give you the right amount. Literally, it's that easy. And the savings is pretty huge. Like, really huge. So what else is going on? You know, I get a lot of people ask me questions about design and trends. And reminded me of a recent meeting I had with a company called Real Stone. Has anyone heard of Real Stone? Real Stone Systems? Well, they're a stone, I would call it, not a tile company, but they do like stacked stone. And they manufacture and they distribute, and they're the manufacturer. So they're like, you get direct. And had a great meeting with them to talk about their product. And I'm always looking, as Hire It Done as a leader in the industry, for someone like me, I like to bring out products and talk about products for homeowners that know what they want, and they want to know the cutting edge stuff. So like Real Stone, it's a product that has it's a higher quality stone. It's like grade A, basically, we'll call it. You might go to a big box store and see like these stacked little stones. That's like a mimic version of, but the real pro version, and this is what most people want, would be what we call Real Stone. You can visit their website, realstone.com, by the way. Anyways, obviously, the uses are pretty cool. You can use them. It's very popular with fireplaces. But I noticed, like if you noticed Joe Muir's in Bloomfield Hills on Woodward, if anyone knows of that, they have Real Stone on the outside of that big renovation project. So you'll see it in a lot of places. Accent walls, and literally, it's cool, like really cool. So they have a product there that's called Real Stone, but they have one that's leather. Can you imagine leather looking stone, but it's real leather? on your wall. How cool is that? Like, I always have a dream of me doing an office, an Adams home office, right? And yeah, the office should be padded walls, but with a straitjacket in there for me because I'm nuts. However, my dream is to have a wall, a wood wainscoting, ceiling moldings, really cool. But now that I've seen leather encapsulated real stone, holy moly. I'm telling you. They got an event too for contractors. It's in October. It's a virtual, and it's actually an in-person, it's a social distance event, but it's going to be cool. We'll be promoting it, by the way. But this product is so cool. Visit realstone.com, and I promise you'll be like, whoa, that's some cool stuff. In fact, that's one of the reasons I was talking to one of my other contractors. He's like, yeah. He goes, I know that stuff. I go, do you use it? He goes, yeah, we work with decorators a lot. We always offer that as an option. So just so you know, literally cool stuff. So you might want to check it out. Anyways, look, you want to save some money on your house, insulating? Want to save some money on electrical? Someone just texted me they live in Livonia. They have a electrician. I got a great electrician for Livonia, in case anyone wants to know. St. John Electric is one of them. Keith St. John. Kevin St. John, sorry. But go to hireitdone.com. My electrician will come out. I'll send it to you. Let me tell you how to save electricity, right? I think you want to know this. Can you save money on your electrical bill? Well, think about this for a second. You got an iPad, you got a laptop, you got a phone, your wife's got a phone, your significant other's got a phone, your kids got a phone, you got video games, right? Everything's plugging in today. You got to charge batteries everywhere. Your electric bill ain't going down. So how am I going to help you save money on your electric bill? Well, let's talk about that. Okay? It's pretty simple. First of all, take your light bulbs. Now, years ago, I would say change to CFLs, compact fluorescent lights. And everyone's like, oh, you're going to, ruin the environment. There's mercury in them. The amount of mercury in a CFL is like a pinhole. It's not a lot. But today, we're going to skip your incandescent bulb. And we're going to skip the CFL and go right to LED. And this is what the evolution is. I've watched the evolution of LED bulbs because LED bulbs used to be really expensive. They got hot. Oy vey. But today, they've designed them with these transistors. They keep cool. And they use 80% less electricity. Did you hear me? 80% less. So if you have a 100-watt bulb, a 100-watt bulb, incandescent, uses 100 watts, right? To get the same light output for a incandescent bulb, for a LED bulb, it only needs 13 watts, up to 20 watts. Let's use 20 watts, okay? So if you got 10 100-watt bulbs in your house, that's 1,000 watts, and they have them all on at one time. That's going to cost you money. Take the same 10 bulbs to have the same light output, you'll have 20 watts. That's an 80% reduction. Bam! Hire It Done just saved you money. I know. I got other savings for you as well. You want to hear them? You're going to have to keep it locked in because I'm taking a break. My name's Adam Helfman. This is the Hire It Done Radio Network, and we'll be right back. Adam Helfman, great Saturday morning. Thinking about getting your house cleaned up? Thinking about sprucing it up for the spring? Maybe you want some curb appeal. Well, the number one way to get curb appeal is to add colors and paint. But when is it too early to paint on the outside of your house? Exterior paint, is it too hot, too cold? When do you start it? Do you plan it now? Does it make sense? Well, we're going to find all these answers out right now because we've got John Cox from Prep Right Painting in studio. And he's one of the Hire It Done contractors, long-time Hire It Done contractor. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Adam.
How you doing, brother?
I'm great. How are you?
I have not missed any meals.
Well, that's a good thing.
Battling a few health issues, but listen, everyone has to deal with what they got, and that's me. I deal with what I got. So, but let's talk paint. So, how long have you been a painter?
We've been in the business for 15 years.
Oh, nice. How long have you been part of Hired Done?
14 years.
How about them apples?
Yes.
So
That's why we're
must be
still
doing
in business.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So let's talk painting. Let's figure out when a homeowner needs to fix up the outside of the house. They want to paint. It's right now, what, March 7th? And they're thinking, yeah, we're going to change the color of the outside. They call you up. You come out there. How does that process work when it comes to timing of the year?
Well, the way things are with painting nowadays, if you don't hire a painter by spring, you're not going to get your house painted this summer. That painters, for especially exterior painters, are in high demand. So this is the time to call. We come out, we're going to evaluate everything. We're going to let people know the best way to protect the house. And the first question I ask people when I come out is, how long do you want this paint job to last? Because if somebody's planning on selling the house, they don't need a 15 to 20 year paint job. So we can give people, quick, easy paint jobs. That's not my preference. The name of the company is PrepRite. The prep on the exterior is what makes the paint job last.
Okay, and I'm glad you said it that way. So it's interesting that you ask how long you want the job to last, because listen, the average homeowner spends 7 to 10 years in a house today. So if I say to you, yeah, I'm going to be here another 10 years, you're saying, okay, I'm going to give you a paint job that's going to last. Best way to say it?
Right, exactly. Some people call me because, they've lived in the house for 15 years, never had it painted, realize that they want to get the house on the market, and they haven't done any maintenance in 15 years.
Right.
So we can make the house look really good, even without all of the prep work. But again, doing it the right way is always the best way.
Yeah, and so that's what I was going to say. So, okay, so let's give a scenario for a typical house that you paint that has exterior. So we're talking with John Cox from PrepRite Painting. The website is paintmichigan.com, if anyone wants to know. If you have a paint question, you can. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name is Adam Helfman. That's right, with an H. So, text me 248-539-9797. You got a question this morning? Love to help you. We're talking about how to save money in electricity, because I save you money. Money, more money. That's right. So, we talked about going right to LED bulbs. That's an easy one. What else? How about smart switches? Has anyone heard about a smart switch? By the way, an LED bulb is going to save you probably $30, $40 a year. Okay? What's a smart switch? Well, smart switches are like motion sensors. Everyone wants a motion sensor on the outdoor floodlights, right? Every time someone moves. Or put them on a timer. A motion sensor, which if you use it as an occupancy sensor, it automatically turns the lights on and off, so you only get to pay for lights when you're in the room. Let's say you leave a room and the light stays on. You're like, oi, why are you paying for lights when there's no one in the room? A lot of hotels save gajillion amount of dollars. Why don't you do it at home? It's simple. You're always screaming at your kid, turn off the lights, turn down the lights, rah, 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 rah. Well, now with the motion sensor, the light goes off when they leave. I love that. That's some money. Okay, you can save up to $100 a year. I know. What about Energy Star appliances? Has anyone heard of that? Yeah, you know what? Energy Star is a product that the government, or a protocol that a government came up with, that basically tells you, the homeowner, if you're going to save money or cut energy by buying an Energy Star product.
That's why you need to go to the EnergyStar.gov. In fact, I was one of the only certified Energy Star builders. Isn't that weird? Like, I would always look for the latest and greatest and see how good we can do it. Now, here's one that saves a ton of money. And this is where heating and cooling companies come in. You can lower your electrical bill by servicing your air conditioner. Right? Get the fuzzies, the dogwood off of it. Make sure that it's got a clear space around it. We call it the 3-foot ring of safety. Nearly half of every home's annual energy bill, gas and electric, is spent on heating and cooling. And guess what? You woke up this morning a little nippy because it was chilly. You need to make sure you know that you can do this. Get your furnace tuned up, because if your furnace is going to be, turned on soon, you better get a furnace tuned up. Go to Hire It Done. We got them. How about energy vampires? You know what an energy vampire is? I have them. I have power strips with like 18 things plugged into them. I got so many chargers. I got wireless chargers. I got USB chargers. I got old USB-C chargers or new ones. I got how many? Are you like me? You have 500 iPhone chargers everywhere. Half of them are broken. The little white cubes. I got nothing. I mean, come on. Every one of those plugged in and it's plugged in and not plugged in your phone is taking up energy. You could save $100 a year. See that? Listening to the show saves you money. Literally saves you money. Because without no money, you got no honey. Now, how about your dryer? How do you save money on your dryer? Clean the lint? Absolutely. In fact, dryer vent cleaning is a big thing now. A lot of house fires. 16,000 fires a year because of dryer lint? I didn't realize that. Santa Clean, it's our guy. He'll clean your ductwork. He'll do it. Here's one that automatic. I want you to go out today and go change your air filter in your furnace. Make it a commitment. Okay? Go to your house downstairs. Find out the one that you have, 24 inch by 20 inch by 18 or whatever it is, by 1, we have the big 4 inch one. We don't have to change it. Well, get that one changed too. And here's my deal. If you got the 1 inch filters, go get 12 of them and write the month of the year on each one of them. September, October, November, December, blah, 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 right? Put in a new filter today. Turn the fan on. Not auto, but on. And why do I say that? Because what will happen is your house will have all your, it'll take, you're cycling the air when your fan's on. What does that do? What it does, my friends, is it cleans the air, scrubs the air. Everyone wants an air scrubber. So, it's not a big deal. Now, what else can you do? Smart meter? People are against smart meters. I don't mind a smart meter. Would you rather than put a dumb meter in? Smart meter, monitors the usage, and it allows the power company on grid to throttle your energy. So when you're not there, they can send the energy elsewhere. It's really cool. That's right. Cleaning your little things like how about lowering your electric bill, cleaning the vents on your refrigerator. 248-539-9797. Text me. Hey Adam, why don't you take phone calls? You can call me. It's just that we're talking about saving energy, and I don't want. If you want a roof question, sometimes I don't want to change the subject. That's why I don't take calls. So we're saving money right now. Okay. Now it's the fall. What are you going to do? How are you going to winterize your tractor? Has anyone done that? Winterize your gas grill? I grill all year long. I ain't winterizing anything. There's nothing better than 32 degrees out with snow everywhere and tracking out to your grill and cooking a steak. Oh, I love it. I love it. Winterizing your sprinkler system, that's got a pro. Have them blow out your sprinklers. You don't need to use your sprinklers from now to the rest of the year, just so you know. And if you're a sprinkler guy and you disagree, text me. I want to know. 248-539-9797. How about a pressure washer? You know, all your little utilities around. A lot of things you can do. What about weather stripping around your basement windows? It's pretty easy. You go to Ace Hardware, pick up a box of weather stripping. Trust me when I tell you, when you stop the air from leaving your house or the air from coming in, not only do you protect it against heat loss, but rodents coming in. Literally, it works. So what is the next step on anything else, right? That's the key. So are you going to do something about your house this year? Do you need a guy? Is a handyman the way to go? What about things that you should be checking around your house to prevent pests? Like I said, I had Rose Pest Solutions on a couple weeks ago. It was a very, it was a great interview, and I got a lot of feedback. So I went back and I wanted to talk about keeping pests out of your house as the season turns to this fall and cold weather. Because you know what? It's cold out. The pests are going to want to sit somewhere warm. They're going to get in your attic. They're going to get in your house. They're going to want a warm situation. You're not even charging them rent. They'll become squatters. It's time to fight back against the pests. How do common household pests get in your house, right? Your walls may appear solid, but a little dime size hole, a mouse can get through there. Small insects sneak through the tiniest cracks. You're never going to get your home absolutely bug-proof, but you can seal a lot of the gaps, especially larger ones that let mice and larger insects in. So the key is to put on your schmata. It's a schmata. It's one of my higher done words. We've got skuts, we got schmutz, we got schmata. You see, I got words. You learn when you're part of Hire It Done. So you need to go walk around your house. Check your foundations. Check where the siding, the brick touches your foundation. Because that's where they get in. They go up and climb underneath. Like I said earlier, weather stripping around your basement windows. How about gaps at doors and windows? What about your dryer vent that I just told you to clean? Can they go up the damper? Yeah. Make sure the damper's not broken. You know how many people say that their lawn guy with the weed whacker kills the damper, broke it? Kaboom. Right. You got to get a new damper. They're going to live there. The lint that comes out of your dryer vent, it's like a cloud bed. It's Tempur-Pedic, guys. If I was a rat, a mouse, a cockroach, hey, Tony, you're a cockroach. If I was one of them, I'd be going right for the damper. That's like 5-star living in a house. Caulk. You can't caulk over caulk, friends. Anyways, it's a great weekend. I just love doing the show, and I love you for listening. So I want to thank everyone. I'm grateful for my audience. And I want to let you know next week is even going to be a better show because every week I get better. My name's Adam Helfman, and you're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network.